What if the world you see around you isn't something you experience, but something you project? For centuries, mystics, sages, and spiritual scientists have hinted at a truth so radical, it challenges everything we believe about reality. The universe is mental, not metaphorically, not symbolically, literally. According to the first of the 7 Hermetic Principles, the law of mentalism, all that exists, seen and unseen, is a manifestation of the mind. Not just your mind or my mind, but a universal mind, an infinite field of consciousness in which all things exist as thoughts, vibrations, and patterns of awareness. In this realm of thought forms and energy currents, you are not a passive observer. You are a creator, a transmitter, a dreamer inside the dream. But here's the problem. Most people are creating unconsciously. Trapped in loops of fear, scarcity, and limitation, they unknowingly reinforce the very reality they wish to escape over and over again. They believe they're reacting to life, when in fact, they're projecting it. And that's where the law of mentalism reveals its secret power. Because once you begin to understand how reality is shaped by the mind, you no longer feel like a victim of circumstances. You become the architect of your world. In this video, we'll go deep into the origins and hidden meaning of this ancient principle. We'll explore how sages across time from Egypt to Tibet, from Plato to Hermes Trismegistus, recognized this law as the root of all others. You'll all learn how to spot the hidden mental patterns that govern your life and how to begin rewriting them. And most importantly, you'll discover how to apply this wisdom, practically and spiritually, to begin shaping your reality with clarity, intention, and truth. Because the mind is not just a mirror of the world, it's the canvas, and you are the hand that paints. Long before neuroscience and quantum physics began to hint at the plasticity of reality, the ancient world had already whispered a timeless truth. All is mind. This is the first and foundational principle of Hermetic philosophy, as revealed in the mysterious and often misunderstood text known as the Kybalion, modern summary of much older teachings attributed to the legendary sage Hermes Trismegistus. Hermes, who some equate with the Egyptian god Thoth and the Greek Mercury, was revered as the master of all sciences, the architect of alchemy, astrology, and sacred geometry. But above all, he was the keeper of mental magic, the ability to understand and manipulate the nature of reality through consciousness itself. The law of mentalism stands at the summit of this tradition, and it declares, the all is mind. The universe is mental. To the casual reader, this may sound poetic, but to the initiate, it is literal metaphysics. The universe is not a machine. It is a thought, unfolding within an infinite consciousness. The same way a dream arises within your sleeping mind, existence itself is a dream within the mind of the all. This concept appears not only in Hermetic texts, but across countless esoteric traditions. In Vedic philosophy, the concept of Maya teaches that the world is a projection of consciousness, veiling the true self, or Brahman. In Buddhism, the mind is the forerunner of all things. Reality arises from thought. In Kabbalah, the world descends through layers of thought, from divine ideation to material expression. Even Plato, in his famous theory of forms, suggested that the material world is a shadow of perfect mental archetypes. These systems, although culturally different, all point to the same core idea. Reality is not made of matter, it is made of mind. But what kind of mind? In Hermeticism, the all is the source consciousness, pure, unknowable, infinite. It is not a god in the human sense. It does not think with a brain or exist in a body. Instead, it is like a boundless ocean of awareness, within which all things float as thought forms: stars, planets, people, ideas, emotions. And here's the crucial part. Because you are a spark of the all, your mind is a microcosm of the universal mind. What exists at the cosmic level also exists within you. As above, so below. This is not just poetic symmetry, it is spiritual technology. By understanding how your thoughts shape your personal world, you begin to intuit how they all shape the cosmos. And vice versa. The Hermetic sages knew that mastering the mind meant mastering reality. They trained in concentration, visualization, mental transmutation, not to escape the world, but to reprogram it. And so we arrive at a spiritual paradox. You are not separate from the dream. You are the dreamer. In the next section, we'll break down how this principle actually works in practice. What does it mean that your thoughts create reality? How do beliefs and mental patterns become externalized? And why do unconscious thoughts manifest faster than conscious ones? Let's unravel the mechanics of mentalism and how to use it with power, purpose, and precision. Let's begin with a deceptively simple truth. Thoughts are not passive. They are creative. When we say the universe is mental, we don't mean it figuratively. We mean that what you call reality is, at its core, a reflection of mental patterns, vibrational states, and conscious intent projected outward into form, experience, and circumstance. This is not just mystical metaphor. Consider this. Before a building is raised, it exists as a blueprint. Before the blueprint, a sketch. And before the sketch, an idea. The physical is always preceded by the mental. In Hermetic philosophy, this is called the principle of mental causation. It teaches that everything begins in mind, the universal mind, and your personal mind alike. Whatever is impressed on the inner plane of consciousness is expressed, eventually, in the outer world of form. But here's where it gets profound. Your beliefs, assumptions, and internal dialogues are not trapped inside your head. They radiate. They shape your energetic field. They affect how you interpret reality, and more importantly, what you attract into it. As within, so without. As above, so below. As the mind, so the world. This is the esoteric mechanism behind manifestation, karma, and magic. Let's go deeper. Imagine your mind as a lens one through which universal consciousness flows. This lens doesn't just perceive reality. It bends it. If the lens is cracked with fear, doubt, or guilt, then the world appears threatening, limited, and dark. But if it is polished with clarity, trust, and intention, that same world reflects opportunity, grace, and connection. Your thoughts are like frequency emitters. They pulse through the subtle layers of your being, mental, emotional, energetic, and send out signals. These signals interact with the matrix of reality, the great field of potentiality, and return to you matching patterns in the form of people, events, and outcomes. This is not wishful thinking. It is resonance. Modern quantum science even tiptoes near this ancient truth. In the famous double-slit experiment, particles behave differently depending on whether they are observed. Consciousness affects outcome. Reality responds to the mind. Though science is cautious, the Hermeticist embraces it boldly. Mind is the master key. But if that's true, why does reality sometimes feel so random? Why do people with good hearts suffer, and those with dark intentions prosper? The answer lies in a subtle distinction Hermeticists have always made. You are always using the law of mentalism, but most of the time, you're using it unconsciously. Think of your mind like a garden. You plant seeds with your thoughts, but not just the ones you choose. The stray ones too. The fears, the complaints, the inherited beliefs. Every mental impression takes root unless consciously uprooted. That's why most people manifest by default, not by design. Their inner dialogue runs on autopilot, shaped by childhood conditioning, trauma, media, or ancestral patterns. And so they continue to create the same loops, not realizing that the loop is their own echo. This is the shadow side of the law of mentalism. It doesn't favor good or bad, it simply reflects what is imprinted. So, how do we begin to use this law consciously? That's what we'll explore next. We'll uncover the deeper mechanics behind mental transmutation, how to shift the energetic quality of your thoughts and reprogram your inner reality. Because when you learn to govern your mind, you gain the power to influence the field around you. And that is the first step toward becoming a conscious creator. So far, we've seen that the law of mentalism teaches all is mind and reality is mental. But how does one go from understanding that idea to actually using it? The Hermeticists called this process mental transmutation, the art of changing the conditions of one's life by altering the vibrational quality of one's thoughts. In modern terms, it is not just about thinking positive, it is about consciously engineering the frequency of your mind to harmonize with the reality you wish to inhabit. Let's break this down. Thought greater than vibration, greater than resonance, greater than form. Every thought you have carries a vibrational charge. It's not just a sentence in your head, it's a living wave, rippling through your aura and out into the collective field of consciousness. When that vibration is held consistently through belief, repetition, or emotion, it begins to resonate with similar vibrations in the field. This resonance acts like a magnetic pull, organizing circumstances, relationships, and events that are harmonically aligned with your inner state. This is how reality bends, not all at once, but gradually, subtly, surely. The layers of creation. To work with the law of mentalism is to recognize that your reality is layered like concentric circles around your core consciousness. Thought, the first impulse, the mental image or statement. Emotion, the energetic charge behind that thought. Belief, thoughts repeated or accepted over time become identity-level truths. Action, behavior aligned with belief reinforces the signal. Reality, the external world reflects the pattern. Each of these levels is a point of influence. You can shift reality at the level of thought or at the deeper level of belief. The more aligned all layers are, the faster manifestation occurs. But the law doesn't respond to words alone. It responds to inner truth. You can affirm abundance 100 times a day, but if your subconscious is saturated with unworthiness, lack, or fear, that's what vibrates. That's what resonates. That's what manifests. This is why awareness is the first power in working with mentalism. You must become the observer of your own mind, the watcher at the gate. Just like a sculptor carves away marble to reveal the form within, you must carve away the mental noise that distorts your signal. The ancient mystics trained rigorously in thought discipline, concentration, to still the mind and hold a pure idea. Visualization, to imprint form and feeling into the subconscious. Invocation, to charge intention with divine energy. Silence, to guard the creative seed from external influence. These were not rituals for ceremony alone. They were technologies of creation. And there is a secret often missed in modern spirituality. The law of mentalism is not about forcing reality. It's about aligning with it. You are not making things happen out of thin air. You are tuning your mind to a higher octave of possibility and allowing reality to rearrange itself around that frequency. It's less about effort, more about alignment, less about pushing, more about clearing. Now, let's address a common question. Why do negative thoughts seem to manifest faster? Because fear, worry, and doubt are emotionally charged. They are repeated, they are believed, and they're rarely questioned. Meanwhile, the thoughts of joy, peace, or abundance are often diluted spoken with doubt, resisted by the subconscious, or dropped too soon. The mind creates through repetition and emotional energy. Whatever you focus on with feeling becomes more probable. This is why mastering your inner world is not optional, it's essential. In the final sections of this video, we'll explore exactly how to do that. You'll learn practical techniques rooted in ancient traditions for reshaping your mental field, clearing distorted patterns, and becoming an active participant in the architecture of your life. Because once you learn to think with intention, you stop living by reaction. And when that shift occurs, the world begins to mirror something entirely new. So now we arrive at the most important question. How do I actually use the law of mentalism? The Hermetic tradition was never about blind belief. It was about practice. To the ancient initiates, knowledge without application was like fire without fuel. Useless. To harness the law of mentalism, you must become an alchemist of the mind, reshaping your inner world so that it aligns with the reality you desire to experience. Here are 5 powerful practices, drawn from both ancient sources and modern adaptations, to begin reshaping your mental field. 1. Mental observation. Begin by developing radical self-awareness. Set aside a few moments each day to observe your thoughts without judgment. Let them rise and pass like clouds. Ask, what am I consistently thinking about? Are these thoughts aligned with the life I want to create? Are they mine or inherited, absorbed or automated? Awareness disrupts the loop. When you see a pattern, you gain the power to rewire it. Esoteric tip. Journal your recurring thoughts. Patterns will emerge like sigils. Once seen, they can be transmuted. Mental imprinting. Choose a clear outcome, a reality you want to embody. Now visualize it in rich, sensual detail, as if it were happening now. See the environment. Hear the sounds. Feel the emotions. Believe it's already done. The subconscious responds to vivid emotion-backed imagery. Done consistently, this imprints a new mental template onto your energetic field. Hermetic key. Don't just imagine having imagined being. Become the version of yourself who already lives that reality. 3. Mental transmutation. When a limiting thought arises, I can't, I'm not enough, it won't happen, do not suppress it. Instead, acknowledge it. Neutralize it with truth. This is not who I am. This is an echo. Replace it. I am worthy. I am capable. I am aligned. Do this with emotion and presence. Each substitution is a metaphysical rewire. Alchemical tip. Use a mantra. Repeat it like a mental ritual to override the lower frequency. 4. Mental silence daily. Sit in stillness. No goals, no visuals. Just silence. Why? Because silence is not the absence of thought. It is the source of thought. It reconnects you to the universal mind, the field of potential, the all. This space is where clarity emerges, where old programs dissolve, and where your will merges with the divine. Mystic insight. In silence, you don't create. You remember what already exists in the higher planes. 5. Mental alignment through action. Thoughts alone are not enough. To finalize the manifestation loop, your actions must match your inner reality. Do you speak from fear or faith? Are your habits reinforcing your beliefs or betraying them? Do your choices align with the version of you that you visualized? Practical alchemy. Live in harmony with the vibration you desire. The external world will begin to recalibrate around you. Bonus practice. The mental mirror before bed. Ask, what did I think today that shaped my tomorrow? Each night, reflect. Each morning, recalibrate. Remember, mentalism isn't magic because it's mysterious. It's magic because it's precise. By practicing these techniques daily, you don't just think about changing your life, you become the change agent behind it. And soon, life begins to respond not to what you fear, but to what you believe, feel, and become. The ancients understood something we are only now beginning to remember. The world is not something outside of you. It is within you, shaped by the contours of your mind, mirrored by your beliefs, sculpted by your inner dialogue. The law of mentalism is not just a theory. It is the origin point, the source code behind manifestation. the silent architect behind every experience. Once you truly grasp that all is mind, a veil is lifted. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What thought, belief, or vibration is this reflecting?" This is the path of the awakened creator. Not a path of control, but of alignment. Not of fantasy, but of spiritual precision. Through mental observation, visualization, transmutation, and silence, you begin to reshape your inner world like a stoneworker etching divine patterns into the subconscious. Over time, these patterns ripple outward, and reality bends in kind. So I leave you with a question. If the world is a mirror of your mind, what do you truly want to see? If you found value in this journey, subscribe to the Occultum Mind and step deeper into the hidden laws that govern both spirit and substance. More ancient truths, more practical tools, more inner power await. And remember, the mind is not just a receiver. It is the source, the flame behind the form, the beginning of everything.